has inspired you?
This gentleman has saved more than 10,000 lives with his help to implement the first effective motorcycle education law in America, according to American Motorcyclist magazine in 1979. This gentleman fights for human rights when they're violated, and this gentleman of great achievements inspires me to never settle for one skill. Russell Meyer, a man that congressmen and senators know him as industrious. Citizens know him as a lawyer and passionate, and I know him as Uncle Russ. His practice in law is stupendous. As a public defender for 42 years in Valley City, North Dakota, his primary goals are to represent his clients accordingly and ensure that all of their rights are protected, and even if one is a guilty murderer or rapist. One time, he defended a guy named Jay Smith, who got attacked by his girlfriend's resentful and reckless ex-boyfriend. Smith put the out-of-control man in a headlock and took the man's life in defense. Uncle Russ got him off a reduced charge and with no jail time. He described Smith as the nicest murderer he's ever known. His career as a lawyer would be worthless gold if he didn't stand strong to ensure all of his clients' rights were protected and enforced. That inspires me to never put my judgment in the way when others need. Uncle Russ was an English teacher and wrestling coach for high school in Fairfax, Minnesota, before he became a lawyer. He still has his teaching certification because he has taught college courses such as criminal justice and business law, and often goes in as a substitute, but most commonly, he goes in as a guest speaker. He was a chief law enforcement officer, a prosecutor, and a public defender for Standing Rock Reservation for 15 years, the place my family and I call home. He guided and influenced many of the Lakota Sioux. He got the opportunity to learn our language, our history, and our culture. If I ever get the opportunity to experience what he did within these years, I would be truly honored. So far, the picture that I've painted of my uncle is as a hardworking and dedicated man. I would like to transition to the organizations he has participated in and the award he has received. His favorite hobby is traveling all around the world on his motorcycle. During the spring, summer, and fall of 1981, he lived the whole biker lifestyle. His motorcycle was often his bed. He went through a tough divorce and thought escaping to the western part of the United States was suitable. 6 months later, he snapped back to reality because he wanted to continue to make a difference in the world. Uncle Russ has worked as a lobbyist for several organizations. He was the executive director for the organization called American Bikers Aiming Toward Education of North Dakota. The organization started off with only a few hundred members to several 100,000 members, making $700,000 just for people who enjoy riding motorcycles. When I say Uncle Russ has broke a bone just to get a large group of members to join, I am not over-exaggerating. A club near Minot, North Dakota, agreed to join the organization if he fought their sergeant at arms. A 240-pound guy, 6'2", against my uncle, who at the time was 135 pounds and 5'8". It's clear who won. But the most inspiring part of the fight was that Uncle Russ got back up every time he got knocked down. The results were a broken nose and a couple black eyes. He did do a little professional boxing back in his day, so the sergeant at arms did get a little busted up. Needless to say, the entire group signed up because Uncle Russ stuck to his guns. I no longer have an excuse to quit on difficult events. One of the awards he has received was the Dal Winey Award in 2013, the highest award, for his helping in crafting the DOI laws in North Dakota. This man who has seen with his own eyes and remembers clearly when African Americans had to sit in the back of the bus, had their own bathroom to use, and had to drink out of their own water fountain. He honors equality, love, and most importantly, education. There was never a conversation I had with him that he did not stress enough how important education is. If I covered all the careers and organizations and achievements he has experienced, I'd be reading a novel to you. Would you believe me if I said he might become a firefighter? We'll believe it. I'm going to leave us with one of his favorite quotes by Maya Angelou. You can only truly become accomplished at something you love. Don't make money your goal. Instead, pursue the things that you love doing and do them so well that people can't take their eyes off you.